Apple has made some enhancements to child safety and parental controls in iOS 26. Today, let's talk about what those enhancements and changes are and how it'll help you protect your kids on their devices. So let's take a look here at some of Apple's information on their website. They recently posted in the newsroom page on their website some information about these enhancements and changes. And I will post links to these things that we're looking at here in the description. So you'll be able to go and read through it in more detail yourself. But we'll kind of skim through here and see what some of the overview is here. So prior to iOS 26, Apple already had a lot of parental controls and child safety protections in place for their devices. And so this is a list of some of the existing things: age rating, content restrictions, filtering, the ability for a parent to set up limits on the App Store so that your child would have to request to install apps. Even free apps can be part of that approval process. The Find My ability to locate devices within a family group. Communication safety, which helps protect your kids while they message and make phone calls, do FaceTime, stuff like that. Made for Kids is sort of a special section of the App Store that has age-appropriate apps for kids. Limiting on Apple ads is another feature, specifically for kids under 13. And then disallow ad tracking. It kind of goes along with that, where advertisers are not allowed to request to track kids' activity. Data access request controls, where parents can set if their kids can share information like their location. Like in the messaging app, you have an option of like sharing your location. So within the screen time controls, parents can set whether their child should be allowed to do that or not. And so this is built into some different frameworks that Apple has in place, including the screen time framework and the family controls framework. All right, so let's talk about actually, one of the early things I'll mention here before we get into some of these enhancements is that these enhancements that we're going to talk about are specific to the 26th version of iOS, iPadOS, watchOS. You can see here all of the OSs. It's the 26th version, released in the fall of 2025 when we're recording this. And you need to have your child's devices on this version to take advantage of these new enhancements. All right, so first in the enhancements, let's talk about child accounts. So Apple for quite a while now has had what they call child accounts. This is an Apple ID account that has limits on what a child can do with their account. Sort of age 13 is sort of the big age when a lot of privacy laws, things beyond Apple, there's digital privacy laws and such that apply, and age 13 is kind of the main age for a lot of areas and regions that have those types of laws. Child account now is required for children under the age of 13, but it's available for children all the way up to the age of 18. Apple has made some changes to the setup process for child accounts, where now a child account will, by default, as it's getting set up, if your child's age that you put in there is under 13, it will automatically be a child account and will automatically put in some default protections for that account. And then it'll also have some some default protections also from the age range of 13 through 18 as well. The setting up a child account for under 13. So if you'd set up an account for your child sometime before the child account was a thing, or before the enforcement was a thing, and you didn't make a child account for your child under 13, if your child at this point is under 13, and they have an Apple ID account, which is not a child account, in that scenario, Apple is going to automatically convert their account into a child account, and then alert the parents to add that child account to a family sharing group. And I have other videos that talk about family sharing, how to add an account to family sharing, how to set up an iPhone with screen time. And so I'll include a link in the description for that video. We also have protections for teen accounts, which is ages 13 through 17. So there's some default protections that are being put in place for those Apple IDs as well. The next enhancement that we'll talk about, and this is a big one, this is one of the major enhancements that Apple has released with iOS 26, has to do with age ranges and age ratings. So Apple now start to put into place more granular age ratings for the App Store. So up to this point in the App Store, there has been an age 4 plus, age 9 plus, and then they had ages 12 plus and ages 17 plus. So they had 4 sort of age range categories within the App Store. What they're doing now is they're sort of splitting out. They're keeping the 4 plus and 9 plus, but they're splitting out sort of those teenage, adolescent into a 13 plus, 16 plus, and 18 plus. And this particular white paper that Apple posted earlier this year has a lot of really great information as far as what apps are included. Now, on the developer side, this will partly rely on developers actually building in this API framework into their apps, because one of the other new features that is sort of corresponding with this is the ability to pass age ranges. That was back up here. Sharing a kid's age range with apps. So a new feature now will allow for a child's age range. Now, Apple is very big on privacy, so they're not passing the actual birth date of your child. They'll only pass the age range, but it'll partly rely on developers building their apps to incorporate this feature. So so it might be a bit of time before we really start to be able to leverage this for protecting our kids. There will be new setting built into screen time with iOS 26 that allows for you to choose how you want to whether or not you want to allow your child to share their age range with apps. You could set it to always allow your child to decide, so it'll prompt them for each app that requires it, or never allow. So you have that control as a parent to enable that or disable it. But that will help ensure that kids aren't able to sort of access apps that are not going to be appropriate for them. So that'll give better control as parents to know what types of apps your kids are accessing. Now, with the addition of the ask to buy feature, where your child would have to request your approval in order to install an app, both for paid apps and free apps, any app in the App Store. There's been an existing setting in screen time to allow only specific age ranges. So looking back into this, so in screen time in iOS, lower than 26, you have these 4 age range categories, and you can set in screen time what you want your kids to access. So you could say 12 plus and below, or 9 plus and below. So a couple of enhancements that Apple's making around that is that prior to this iOS 26 with these enhancements, children could still see. So even if you limited what apps they could have installed on their phone, number one, they could still see any app in the App Store when they go into the App Store. And so these new enhancements to the App Store will then look at that limit that you've set in screen time and actually not even show apps that fall outside of that age range limit. So if you set your age range to 13 plus, they won't see apps that are marked 16 plus or 18 plus. They just won't see those in the App Store. So they won't be exposed to some of those apps. Additionally, this will help when they are requesting your approval for an app. And you can go in and review the app and take a look at it. This will better help, especially with these descriptions of what might be included in that age range. This will really help as parents for us to be able to see making a more informed and better decision of what apps to allow for our kids or not. The last thing to talk about as far as the enhancements go are revolve around communication limits and communication safety. So in screen time, up to this point, a parent had the possibility of limiting who their child can communicate with via messaging, phone calls, FaceTime. A parent can choose whether it's specific people, and a parent can also lock the ability for the child to be able to add people into their contact list. So, and then as a parent, we can limit so that your child can only communicate with people that are in their contact list. Apple's now adding a feature where a child can request to add someone to their contacts. So now a child can, it's sort of another layer where a child can, if they get a phone number from a friend at school, they can then put it into that approval process that you'll get as a parent. Will get a notification on your device of whether to allow that or not. And then there's enhancements around communication safety, that framework that helps to block nudity in messages, FaceTime, even in apps and in web, in Safari. So there's enhancements being made to that so that it'll more reliably and effectively do that for you. So all in all, I think that these enhancements are really great. They continue to provide parents with possibilities of better protecting our kids on these devices. And so I'm going to check them out for myself and my kids. Tell me what you think in the comments about these new enhancements and features, whether you'll be implementing them for your kids. And until next time, thanks for watching.